is Jacqueline Charles, and we have our illustrious, wonderful guest, Mr. Terry Mora. So this is behind the scenes prior to the show, because normally you know I don't eat like this when we're doing the show. So I'm eating some fried tofu.
Oh, that's what's up.
I'm eating some beets. Y'all know I'm plant-based.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm doing. I don't know what Bailey's gonna do when she edits this, but she needs to make me look good. But I'm also eating some watermelon radish, and I love it. So this is what I'm doing. I don't usually eat before the show when the guest is here, but you know what? I just decided to do it. And here's our mugs, our Women Are Worthy mugs. This is what we got here. Look at this. It's fly like me. Look at this mug. Look at this mug. Not this mug. This mug. I hope y'all like our new decoration. This is courtesy to Bailey and her mama. So this is what we're doing here. So anyway, the Women Are Worthy show, we're here to embrace, build character, and motivate the soul. And we try to get people who come on the show, who's doing the show, to basically just talk about who they are, what doesn't kill them, make them stronger, and things like that, because we're all about empowering and motivating people. This is what we're doing. And, you know, I'm all into my plant-based. Y'all know I'm all about my plant-based, eating healthy, because a girl gotta look fly. So, Terry, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you know anything about plant-based?
Actually, I don't, but I'm starting to learn.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to school me.
Stick with me, kids. Stick with me. We got
I need to lose
this.
some of this.
Yes.
Definitely.
Where are you originally from again?
Brooklyn, New York.
Okay, that's right, because we talked about it. Yo,
New York.
Brooklyn in the house. That's what I'm talking about, Brooklyn in the house. And when you get two Brooklynites together, things explode.
Yes.
So we gonna go there before the show.
Okay.
Terry has cerebral palsy. It doesn't define him. And I'm gonna be honest with you, today I was so exhausted. And when I heard you were gonna be on, you know, I knew you were gonna be on the show, I said, look, Jackie, you woke up 6 feet above ground.
Right.
There's no reason for you to say you're tired, because if Terry can do it, you can do it as well.
Thank you. I appreciate
You know
that.
what I'm saying?
Thank
And big cat. Okay, let me stop being a little ghetto. Keep that part in there. But anyway, I'm really loving you. I'm really digging you, my brother.
You.
So I want you to share your story, and
Okay.
let's see what, you know, what the future holds, because this is going to be the beginning of a wonderful relationship.
Absolutely.
Whether you know it or not.
I know it. That's what's gonna make it happen.
That's right. So,
Yeah.
signing off, Jackie Charles, the host of the Women Are Worthy show, and Mr. Terry Mora. He's going to be on our show tonight. So we'll talk about him and what he's doing and how he's doing things. Peace. Hi everyone, this is Jacqueline Charles. Welcome to the Women Are Worthy show. I am so excited today. Joining us, we have the hottest disabled entrepreneur. That's what they call him, and I didn't want to label him that way, but I saw in his media kit that he is the hottest disabled entrepreneur in America. Come closer. I said in America, not the not Georgia, but in America. And we want to welcome Mr. Terry Mora to the show. Woo!
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So, speak a little louder. So, can you tell us, they have you listed as the hottest entrepreneur in America, the hottest disabled entrepreneur in America. What makes you the hottest disabled entrepreneur in America? Because I'm telling you, I have folks out there that's going to send me an email,
right,
or they're going to say, well, what makes him so special? So why are you the hottest disabled entrepreneur in America?
Well, I'll definitely say that probably the first point is 30 years in the music industry, and that's been a blessing. So started out in the music industry in 1986, and so that's part of the equation.
That's part of the equation.
Part of the equation.
Okay, and also guys and girls, let me tell you a little something, okay? Terry and I share something. And you guys know when you're on my page, you know I ride for my Brooklynites. I love you people from the UK. I love you people from Houston. I love you people from New York. I love you people from Georgia. But yo, he's from Brooklyn. Brooklyn in the house. You know, so now that he's Brooklyn in the house, you know I gotta sit up straight,
Right, definitely.
talk right, and all that kind of stuff. Gotta rap. So, Terry, what is it, you're an entrepreneur. So many people are having some complicated issues or things going on right now being an entrepreneur, what would you say is your most challenging event that you've gone through as being an entrepreneur? Because now you're the big boss man, you sign checks, you write checks. What is it about being an entrepreneur that's very hard?
Probably for most people is staying motivated. A lot of people get the idea, they get the vision, and they just fall off by the wayside and give up on it. And you know, a lot of times people expect, okay, I've got an idea, January, March and April, they're wondering why they're not making any money yet. And so if you're an entrepreneur, you gotta stay the course. You just can't give up.
Okay, giving up, and because I don't know the word no, so I understand what you're saying. For me, what I find challenging is being an entrepreneur. I think your 9-to-5ers don't understand because you can't do the things that they're doing.
True.
Because you're focused on your business. So
Absolutely.
a lot of my 9-to-5ers have gone by the wayside,
Absolutely.
to be perfectly honest, and it is what it is. And also being isolated, being by yourself.
Right.
You know? So you're listed as the hottest disabled entrepreneur in America. We know that you have cerebral palsy. I'm sure you guys don't know you have cerebral palsy. Can you please walk us through your life briefly about, because I read some things that really shocked me about what they told your parents.
Oh, yeah.
So can you tell people what cerebral palsy is and share your journey with us, sir?
Well, basically what cerebral palsy is when I was born, my mother had the German measles. And that complicated the birth. It's almost as if when you're walking or when you're picking up a cup or very little things that you don't really think about, your brain sends a signal to your hands or your legs to do that. A lot of people that have cerebral palsy, it's almost like a electrical short. The message doesn't get from the brain to the legs or the hand to sort of send that signal. So a lot of people have from what mild to CP to severe CP. Mild CP in my case is where I'm able to walk and drive, but you have some people that have severe CP where just picking up this cup is a challenge for them because they're telling their body to pick up the cup, but their mind is not registering, and it's sort of like a jerky movement where they can't really stretch their hands out. Yeah.
So, okay, now
It's really
that,
muscle reflex.
okay, so what did they tell your parents? Because I'd like you to share that story about the facility they wanted your parents to put you in.
Yeah.
Let's share that story. Because I want people to understand, the reason I wanted you on this show, and I had to have you on the show, is so often we take the little things for granted.
Absolutely.
Waking up, and like I said, I woke up 6 feet above ground, so I'm a winner right there.
Absolutely,
You know?
100%.
And I think people take just waking up in the morning, just brushing your teeth, just
Right.
putting on your pants for granted. So share with us the journey that your parents went through that you know about.
Well, basically, you know, I probably have been I've been in the hospital from elementary school to middle school. And I've been operated on probably at least 10 times. And at one point when I was a baby, the doctors actually told my mother and my father to put me in a nursing home. Basically because I wouldn't amount to anything, so thankfully they didn't listen. But I've been operated pretty much, I spent most of my younger life in the hospital, from New York City to Philadelphia.
Wow, and see, and I want my interns to listen to this because sometimes we have people who give up on the young kids.
Right.
And I want them to understand, and all the interns that I have here today, the ones who are present and the ones who are not, they can share with them. You guys can do anything you want. Are you listening to his story? There isn't anything that you guys can do. You ladies and gentlemen, you can do anything you want to. You just need to have that support. You know, so, and I'm always a champion for my interns and whatever it is that they want to do. Thank God, as you said, that they didn't listen to your parents because you would be sitting here right now. You know, and
True, very
Lord
true.
knows, you probably could have died in a nursing home because we know
absolutely,
how
yeah.
those things happened back in the day.
Right.
You know, so I'm glad that they didn't listen. So what challenges that you did go through back in the day that you could share with us? And the reason I want you to talk about it is right now we're living in such a challenging time. And I'm not saying people who go through things are not having issues, but I just want them to hear what you went through because I'm telling you, brother, and I told you, this morning I woke up, I'm gonna keep it real. I wanted to cancel the show. I wanted to call my intern and tell, because I was so exhausted. I've been running you're going to be professional. You're going to do the show, and that's what you're going to do. You know.
Okay, I appreciate that.
So tell us about what is a typical day like, and then we want to get into the entrepreneurship because everybody want to make some more coins.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about your life. You know.
Well, you know, my day pretty much, each day is different. For example, today I went to a meeting with a client who's doing an event at the end of April. I'm working with a business partner on a movie project. What else?
You looking for extras?
Oh, you know, always build websites.
Right.
I've pretty much music consultant, so I've got a lot of artists that I work with on the music consultant side,
Okay.
teaching them about the business. So my day goes up and down. It varies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that said, you said your days varies. It goes up and down. What advice would you give an entrepreneur out there? Because I have a lot of interns. What advice would you give someone out there who's looking to be an entrepreneur? What's the one most valuable thing that you've learned that you would like to share with them?
Well, you know, one of the best things, well, like I say, I started a music career in '86. I didn't have the resources that a lot of young people have today in regards to YouTube and Google. When I wanted to contact somebody at a company, I had to pull out the yellow pages and the white pages. And,
Ooh, you old.
yeah,
You're talking about yellow pages. You old.
You know, very old.
Yeah.
So now you can Google somebody,
I know.
so you really don't have any excuses as far as learning your craft and learning what you want to be. I mean, there's YouTube videos where people are breaking down different skill sets, but there's also people that you can Google and contact through Facebook
Right.
and Instagram to say, hey, this is what I want to do.
Okay, he's being modest right now, and you know I can't tolerate modesty
Okay.
for so long. When he said he was in the music business, put out the names out there.
Oh goodness, I've been blessed with MC Lyte, Queen Latifah, Will Smith, MTV, Atlantic Records, Warner Brothers, Naughty by Nature, 102 with Naughty, Kenny Smith from the Houston Rockets, Major Damage Clothing. I worked on 4 projects that I got 3 gold records and 1 platinum.
Okay, he ran down his resume. I'm like, Jackie, what you doing? You ain't doing enough. You need to be doing some more. So I am so proud of you. You know, and you know what I've noticed too, and I'm sorry, it's not turning out to be a Brooklyn show, but it's going to be a Brooklyn show. I don't care where you go on earth, you're always going to find someone from Brooklyn.
Absolutely. I got my New York sign right on the front of my truck right
See,
now.
someone said to me, Brooklyn people are like cockroaches.
Yeah.
And then at first I was insulted, but I'm like, no, we are. We're everywhere.
don't go nowhere.
You can't destroy us.
Yeah, we're all over.
If the atomic bomb lands, we're going to survive.
Exactly.
So I'm doing a show. The show that it's called, as you know, the Women Are Worthy show. And we're here to empower, embrace, build character, motivate the soul for people. Because we want people to come on the show and talk about who they are and why they're doing what they're doing.
Okay.
Because I think it's important in today's climate to let people know that you can do anything you want to do.
Absolutely.
You can, but at the end of the day, it takes a village. You know what I'm saying? To
Absolutely.
support what we're doing and how we're doing it.
Yeah.
So back to your CP, your cerebral palsy. How are you? Do you have any children?
I do. I have a 21-year-old son. He'll be 22 this month, and he'll be graduating from Georgia Southern.
Wow, in Statesboro.
Yep.
Yep. I used to be in Statesboro.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the reason I asked that question is so often kids now, it's different from when we were growing up. The bullying, the teasing, and the suicide.
Yeah.
How did you talk to your child? Because I do notice, and I've had kids whose parents had some sort of disability, and they were constantly teased. What would you tell a child now that's being bullied?
Well, you know, I actually grew up in middle school with a bully.
What?
I sure did. I had a bully in middle school, and I got me a bodyguard, and
Really?
that stopped the bullying.
When you mean bodyguard, you mean did you tell a dude who was older than you, like, look, I need you to do this, or how did you do this bodyguard? Not that I'm suggesting you guys doing this, but I want to know. What do you mean bodyguard?
Well, basically, he was an older guy in school. We're talking middle school, so at least two grades higher, and he just started picking up for me. And basically that was my bodyguard, and really only had one or two bullies. It wasn't like I had, I'll tell you a quick story I'll never forget. Me and two friends were standing outside middle school. I grew up in Brooklyn and Queens. And I remember that we were standing there, I don't know if we were waiting for the bus, and this guy came up to us and sort of basically extorted us. So told us to start bringing money the next day. And I went home, so number one thing, go home and tell your parents, because I went home and told my parents. And what they wind up doing is, they came to school the next day, they told the principal, and we went to the guy's class, we went class by class.
Looking for it.
And what I would do was just peek my head in the, because I don't know if they have it now, but the doors have the class.
Right.
So I would look in the classroom and step back, go to the next class, look in the classroom, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Tell the principal, and from that particular bully, I never had a problem. The second bully, though, my bodyguard took care of him.
Wow,
Yeah.
so you were resourceful. So you were an entrepreneur then.
Yeah, oh yeah, most definitely, absolutely.
So that's, I never thought about something like that, and that's nothing, that's interesting. So that shut the bullying down. Now, did any bullying happen with your son while he was going to school?
Actually, no, and it's funny enough with my son, like I say, he's 21, he'll be 22, actually Halloween, October 31st. Shout out to Jordan. He hasn't had any problems with bullying, very resourceful. He's a lot like his dad, he's a Scorpio, so he's real laid back and sort of, low-key and conservative. So.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
Because I can tell that he's the pride, he's your pride and joy. I can see it, I can see.
Definitely.
So, now that how did you transition, when did you decide I want to be an entrepreneur, this is what I want to do, as opposed to do the 9-to-5er? When did you make that transition and how did it happen?
Well, I tell people the story about how TV had changed my life. And basically I was working a 9-to-5 job and I got fired after 2 years. And I was working in Manhattan, in fact, working in Manhattan right across the street from Grand Central Station.
Okay.
And wound up getting fired. I was still living with my mom, so I was probably about maybe 17, 18 at the time. Had no idea what I wanted to do, but I was watching Prince perform on American Music Awards. And I said, wow, he looks like he's having a lot of fun. That's what I want to do. I want to do something I can get paid and have fun at the same time. I want to be in the music industry. And from that point on, I started making a step, contacting people to see if I could, what these guys are doing here, working for free. My first inroads into the music industry was working at a recording studio for free from 12 in the afternoon to 12 at night, every Sunday.
Okay, can you please, are the rest of my interns here, they left already? Because, have them come in, because I want you, I'm putting them on the spot. I need you to repeat, so I need every last one of them to come in. Every last one to come in.
All right, I'll definitely.
Yes.
So that wind up working in, and I'll tell them when they come in, but working in the studio, I got a chance to work with everybody from Yoko Ono to Roy Ayers in the studio.
Wow, Yoko Ono.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want you to do is, as you can see today, we're filled with a lot, my male interns today.
Okay.
And we have a couple of female. Now, you mentioned something that when you broke into the music business, what did you do?
What I did was, well, first what I wound up doing when I got into the music industry, I wanted to work in recording studios. Not mainly because I feel like I'm an artist, wanted to work in the studios because I wanted to push the button that had all the colors.
Right.
I thought that would be so cool, just to
Right.
push the button. So anyway, I literally sat down and I called every recording studio in New York asking to work for free.
Okay, and the reason I brought that up is not just the free, but also to see how persistent you were.
Had to be.
Because you had to be, and plus, especially when you have a disability,
Absolutely.
you have to work harder than most people.
Right.
So, and the thing is, what I want to do with my interns, I want them to see, and I said it before, that I want each and every one of them to know they can do anything that they want to do. Tyler Perry has one of the largest studio in the United States. So there isn't anything that my young men and young women can't do. Because if I'm a part of it, they're gonna get it done.
Right.
Okay? So I want them to know, even though I just met a couple today, I want them to know that I do have faith in them. I met them in their classroom, and they go to Pebblebrook, and I'm telling you, these guys are really on the money. And the young lady, they're really on the money. I'm really proud of them. So whether they never come back, but no, I talked to them, listened to them tell their story and stuff that they want to do, and it was really impressive, because I have some guys that they want to do car shows. Some of them think that they're comedians when they're really not, but it is what it is. But but it's just important to see that you have to pour into people. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted them to see that you've been in the music business. You didn't let your disability stop you. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you have people believing in you, that's what I want them to know. What advice would you give my interns right now? Because you can see it's dominated by men, young boys.
Well, I'll tell you this, that, and going back to what they missed was working from 12 in the afternoon to 12 at night for free. But I often say that I'm a person that can barely walk up a flight of stairs, but I've been on tour with everybody from Will Smith when he was Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince to Queen Latifah when she was just
U-N-I-T-Y. So you were with Will Smith when he was Jazzy Jeff?
Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince went on tour with him, yeah.
Wow, so right before he did Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I guess, right? Or was
Well,
it
actually, I'll tell you a funny story. I was working with a clothing company. Shout out to a good friend of mine, Gene Peterson, is now a basketball scout for the Golden State Warriors. But together we had a company, and we put clothes on different artists.
Really?
And one day we went out to California, and we was on the back lot of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and the butler sounds just like the butler. Jeffrey talks just like that in person. And Alfonso Ribeiro is probably about the same height as I am. But Will is probably, I would say out of all of them, Will, Latifah, probably some of the coolest people you'll meet. Very down to earth.
See, and Will seems cool because whenever he does videos, and I'm like,
Jada is too.
I'm getting closer to Jada.
Jada definitely.
Yeah. So it's amazing. And see, you don't have to be a nasty person to make it on top. And some celebrities you meet, they're really nasty.
Right.
So that's good that you're sharing this. So other than giving them that advice, what are your goals? What do you plan? Where do you see yourself in the next, let's say, 3 years?
Wow, 3 years, probably still do more consulting. Definitely more public speaking. I've been speaking for probably the last 10 years. I used to speak for Coca-Cola and Atlanta Hawks, so I'd like to do more of that. And as far as working on the music side, just really work with some different artists. Like I said, I'm working with First Priority Music, who's coming out with a movie right now. First Priority had a couple of artists. One artist was by the name of MC Lyte, and then had another artist by the name of Audio 2, Top Billin'. Top Billin' is like one of the most sampled songs in hip hop. And so they come out.
See, some of these kids may not know who MC Lyte is.
Oh yeah,
Some of them may not know.
yeah.
They don't understand. They probably don't even know Queen Latifah. I'm sure they know Will
Well, you know
Smith
Queen
now.
Latifah, right? Queen Latifah.
Some of them may. So they may know Will Smith now.
Will
but
Smith
not,
before he was. Yeah.
Before he became Independence Day Will Smith.
I'll tell you a quick 10-second story.
This is your show.
I appreciate it. I was at an event at Showtime at the Apollo in New York, and there was a bunch of groups hanging out in the green room, and one of the guys that was hanging out in the green room was Tupac.
Really?
Yeah.
Was he nice at the time?
He was very nice. It was when he was Digital Underground.
And I think,
This is the fact. This is the night I met him, the night Juice came out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, because in Juice he was just, oh my God.
Yeah,
And
Juice
see,
was, how many of y'all saw Juice?
Nah, I don't think, the younger generation, I don't
Oh
think
yeah,
they see
because
that.
I get on my son, like,
Yeah.
you haven't watched Juice?
Yeah.
You haven't watched Harlem Night?
Because rap wouldn't be rap without Tupac.
Without Tupac.
and Biggie, rap wouldn't be. And people say African Bambaataa, but it is.
But, oh yeah, you know Africa.
Look, I'm from Brooklyn. I better know rap. I better know rap. So the interesting thing is, does any of my interns have any questions? Because here we have a guy who's done stuff with Coca-Cola, done a lot of businesses. So I like to give my interns an opportunity if they have any questions to ask. Because, I want them to know that and as I keep saying, any and everything is possible. You can do anything you want to do. Is there someone out there that has a question about entrepreneurship, how to get into anywhere? Because I got tons of questions for him, but I just want to make sure everybody's good. I'm including everybody. Is there a question out there?
You have a question?
How'd you know where to get started?
The question was, how did he know where to get started?
You know, to be honest with you, I didn't know. I just started calling people and asking them if I could work for free in the music industry. And same thing with Billboard Magazine. After I left the recording studio, I started working for Billboard. And a lot of it comes from, you know what would be cool if I could do X, Y, Z. And so that's how it happened. What would be cool if I could write for a magazine? And then I just started calling magazines and started asking them if I could write for them. You know what would be cool? To go skydiving. And I started skydiving. So what if?
And what I like is right now is, you know, we're in the age of the Instagram, the YouTubes and stuff. So when I started my website, I just started blogging because I'm going to blog about things that I like. And we got voted the top 50 women bloggers.
Oh, that's what's up. Very cool.
Look, I'm not leaving nothing on the table.
I know that's like real.
So, and I do know I have that it factor, you know, because I am good at interviews. I mean, I'm just saying what it is.
Right.
I know I am what I am. But it's because I like listening to people, what people have to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to keep it on a positive note, you
Right.
know? So with 3 years, you told us what you want to do. If you could go back and change something in your life, and it wouldn't change your future, what would you change?
The one thing that I probably regret the most in music is I was talking to a young lady on the phone one time. I was supposed to interview her for a magazine article, and I had my notes and my questions written down. And when I called her, we just started talking like friends. And about an hour later, I realized I hadn't written anything down. And she said to me, "What are you doing tonight?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not doing anything." She's like, "You should come out to my show and hang out with me." And I said, "Yeah, that'll be cool. I'm gonna come hang out with you." She was performing at Centennial Olympic Park. When I hung up the phone, I said, "You know what, I'm gonna go home." And I wind up not going, thinking I'll have another time to hang out with her.
Wait a minute, were you trying to hang out? Were you trying to shoot your shot?
No, I was just ready to hang out with her. I was
Just wanted to know.
Yeah, but see, I was like, nah, you know what? I'm not gonna go. I'll see her another time.
Right.
Another time never came because it was Aaliyah.
Aaliyah?
Yeah.
Holy
So that's what
crap.
I regret. I wish I would have went.
Yeah.
But then I think about other things like, well, if I went to the show, see, everything I believe happens for a reason.
Yes,
So if I
yes.
went to the show and we became real good friends, would I have been one of the people on the plane?
On the plane with her when Crash.
When the plane crashed.
Yes, because
Yeah.
she's very loyal.
Right.
And yeah, you could have been on that plane.
She could have been like, "Hey, you're real cool. Come start hanging out with me, doing shows with me," and I could have been on the plane.
See, you have so many things that, you know, that's why I tell people when a door closed, don't really focus on that because sometimes a window closes and a door opens or a door shut and a window
Absolutely.
opens. So when things don't happen the way you want to happen, because for me, a lot of things like no, but then I'm like, God, why is that no? But then when I turn around,
Oh,
it was for my good. Because many
Absolutely.
times I could have been in accidents, I could have been in other things. So, you know, and I want my interns to know as well, just because you hit a stoplight, that doesn't mean that the light's not going to turn green somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Ooh, that was a good one. I like that.
I like that one.
I do too. No. So, it's just, I'm sitting at a table with greatness. Because I read your bio, I read your press kit, I read all of that, but to sit down in your presence, and again, Allison and Shane, I spoke because we're on the prayer line together. And she does
Oh, yeah,
amazing
yeah, she
things.
does,
Yeah, she's just doing amazing. Allison Feliciano, how can I not say her name? Blah, blah, blah. But she said to Jackie, he's hot, because on the prayer line today, I told them that you're going to be on the show.
Okay.
And she's like, tell him hello. And can I say, and I'm not saying it because you're from Brooklyn,
Oh, thank you.
you
Okay,
know,
okay.
not saying it,
Alright.
but you're one of the most interesting people I've ever met.
Oh, thank
And
you.
it's a pleasure having you on the show
Appreciate
because,
that. Thank you.
again, you're giving me positive vibes and you're telling me there isn't anything that I can't do.
Absolutely
You know,
not.
because if you can do it, not saying because you're disabled and you have cerebral palsy, but again, like I said today, I really wanted to cancel the show because I've been running. I've been pouring so much that I got tired.
Right.
But then I said, if Terry can bring his butt to the show and my intern can go to school and come to the show, who am I that can't come to the show? You know, who am I? I'm just a little peon here
No,
because my interns are all my bosses. I'm
Okay,
just
there
supposed
you
to
go.
sit here and know the questions, and they're here directing me and telling me what I want to do.
Right.
And I want people out there to know that when it comes to the younger generation, we got to invest in them.
Absolutely.
Because if we don't believe in them, how do we, I feel like I'm doing a PSA right now. If we don't, I feel like crying right now. Thank God I don't have my lashes.
That's a good
fell
cry.
off.
That's a good cry.
But no, my cry's not good.
Okay,
My cry's
all right,
ugly,
good.
honey, ugly. But I want my interns to know that, and I want people to understand that we have to invest in our younger generation.
Absolutely.
And I don't care what it is, if you're working 2 or 3 jobs and your child says they want to do something, you need to take a break, figure it out, because there's that split decision by you making that your child could go down the wrong path.
Absolutely.
So we have to make sure that we're doing that. And again, the show's called Women Are Worthy Show. Why do you think women should support each other, and why do you think we should have a community support the Women Are Worthy Show?
Well, you know, the thing about it is you never, no matter what you do in life, you never do it on your own. There's people that have supported me, phenomenal women like my mom, who have supported me because she was one of the people that didn't put me in a nursing home. Shout out to Cynthia Horner from Right On Magazine, who I never met.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
That's back in the day,
Cynthia
yeah.
Horner from Right On. She gave me a whole issue to write. That's actually how I wound up hanging out with Jeff and Fresh Prince, because she gave me an issue to write and I interviewed them for the magazine. So if it wasn't for Cynthia, if it wasn't for my mom and people like that that have always supported me,
Queens.
it's a village. And there's no way you can do what you want to do without having supportive people, without having the team.
And some of my interns weren't here, and they're here now, and I want them to hear that when he was born, they told his parents to put him in a nursing home, and because of his disability. Those days, when you go into a nursing home, because they figure your parents can't, they wanted your parents to live a comfortable life. And back in those days, when you go into those nursing homes, you're not gonna come out.
Oh, them nursing homes back in the days was nothing like.
Yes.
I mean, now they're like little apartments and everything.
It's
back
like a
in-
castle.
Yes.
So more than likely, he would have possibly succumbed and died in those nursing
One
homes.
of the cuckoo nests.
Yes, because they would have not taken care of him. And his mother and father, particularly his mother, said no.
Right.
And to see this woman who believed in her son, and she was a praying mom, and look at you now, you're here with all these rappers, celebrities, and things like that, and you're still humble. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
So
you.
I want these, and again, I keep drilling it because I have a lot of the interns on the set, and I want people who are actually watching, and if you're going through something, sometimes you have to go through something to come out on the other side. It makes you stronger. Whatever doesn't kill you make you stronger. And you have to go through things in life. So I want to thank you for just being you and what you're doing. Now, if someone wants to book you for a show, or if someone wants to, you know, have you be a spokesperson, how can they reach out to you?
The best way to reach me is to Google me. So just reach out to me, type in my name and my stuff will come up.
Okay, Terry, and it's Terry, Terry, Mora, Moorer. Hey, I got that.
Thank you, absolutely.
But so without further ado, this was just, you know, I want to end the show, but I can't end the show because it's a pleasure having you here, and it's like this is the first time I met him, guys, and I feel like I met like my brother.
Wow,
you
okay,
know,
Brooklyn.
and again, like I said, you know, I'm sorry. How many? You guys need to do something about how many times did Jackie say Brooklyn? And it must be over 50 times. But when you're from Brooklyn, you are proud of where
Yeah.
you're from, and it's just a place. It doesn't matter where you live. Your home will always be Brooklyn.
Always, I got Brooklyn all throughout my car.
See, I said I reside in Georgia, but my heart and my home is still in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So, is there anything you'd like to tell us more about yourself? And so, you know, because I want the audience to get to know you, because you're gonna come back. Okay.
Oh, definitely, I appreciate it. I mean, you know, the main thing is if you believe that you can do it, then do it. I mean, I'm afraid of heights, but I'm jumping out of airplanes.
I saw that when I'm like, no, he's not jumping out of airplane. Because
no.
that was one of the things I wanted to do, bungee jumping, and I've done the zip lining.
How many interns would do skydiving? That's what's up.
Are you serious?
I see one of you is like.
Are you guys wait, see, I got an issue with you. Because now you're asking them how many would skydive, so my job now is to find a place that we can, so they can meet
Oh,
people
there you go, for real. Right.
Did you actually raise your hand?
Yeah, I will tell you one thing I didn't realize with skydiving is when you're up there, the air is freezing because I didn't realize the air actually gets warmer as it comes to the ground.
Wow.
But when you're up there, it's freezing and you're literally falling like 140 miles an hour, something like that.
Because you did tandem, right?
I did tandem.
Why in the world? I'm just asking. I'm not trying to stereotype.
There you go.
Why would you want to go skydiving? Is it here enough?
It's just the idea of, you know what, that would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, okay, and thank you for putting thoughts in their head, because now I gotta figure out a way and talk to whomever.
And you know also too, they can go NASCAR driving around here too. There's
I didn't ask you all that.
I know, I'm sorry,
No,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
NASCAR,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, don't say it, because they're engine heads.
Right,
You know,
okay.
so go ahead.
There you go.
Tell them, put it out there.
Very good.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Let me drink my water.
Yeah,
here.
drink your water, because you really messing it up for me right now. So, the Women Are Worthy show, are we on schedule? What time is it, guys? Because, who's my timer? Oh,
7:01?
7:36. It's like we've been here for, like for a long time, and it's just been here for just a little bit.
Sure.
So, you said what you plan to do in the next couple of years, what
Yeah.
you would like to do. And you're working on a movie right now with someone, correct?
Yeah, well, Nat Robinson.
Why does that name sound familiar?
Nat Robinson had, I'll tell you who Nat Robinson. Nat Robinson had a company 20 years ago called First Priority Music.
Okay.
First Priority Music was a little independent record label out of Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
And the reason he wound up doing the record label was because his son, he had two sons that wanted to become rappers. And they were out going to get record deals, but the record deals were so bad.
360 deals.
They're terrible. So they went to their father, they were showing him all the contracts, and he said, you know what, I'm gonna start a label. And it became one of the biggest hip hop labels, really of all time, First Priority Music.
Who was on there?
Positive K,
Okay.
MC Lyte,
MC Lyte, okay.
Audio 2 had a song called Milk is Chillin'.
Yeah,
Kids
okay.
is chillin'.
This is before they time they
What more can I say?
Yeah.
Actually, and I say, I said that before, that Top Billin' is one of the most sampled songs in hip hop. Lady Gaga has used that track, Mary J. Blige has used that track, and Milk made that song when he was about 16 years old, and he had not had to work another day in his life on one song.
Okay, so I need my entrepreneurs to get this working here. He made a song at 16, and he never had to work a day in his life. So we need to go into the think tank, guys, and start working on some
So when you
stuff.
get a chance, Google on YouTube Top Billin'.
Wow.
And it's a very simple song. It's not like a complicated track, but because the song Cartoon Network has used the song, so many people have sampled the song that he gets a nice little percentage of it. And so they're doing just, all these hip hop artists from back in the days now are doing movies. Wu-Tang actually has
Yes.
they're on Hulu.
Yes, the Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang is on Hulu now.
Love Wu-Tang. Yeah.
Yep. So a lot of artists are doing, and First Priority is coming out with it.
It's interesting to see, what did you think is the main, because other than YouTube and all these things, do you think that some of these kids are entitled? They seem that they're entitled compared to when we were growing up?
Well, I think what it is with technology has made a lot of the kids so, and I'll say young adult, it's made them a little lazy because so much stuff is at their fingertips that they don't realize what they have at their fingertips. So for example, Tyler Perry just reopened up his studio. Everybody was here last night, from Whoopi Goldberg to Will Smith. All these different celebrities was in town. And if you're an intern and you know that, you're like contacting Tyler Perry to be an intern, like I'll come and set up the table, just to be around that type of caliber of people.
And for me, I think it's sometimes, one way it has stifled creativity, and in another way it has enlarged and made them more creative. It
Right.
depends on how you use it. But I've seen it because I know when we were going to school, you know, you go to the library and to do copying, you had to go on the microfiche.
Right,
You know,
right.
and when you wanted something, it was just a mess.
But
So
now
I
you
said,
can-
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take them to, we're gonna do a trip. I'm gonna show them, like there was a comic strip where these kids were in front of this thing and they're like, what is that? It was a telephone booth. So I'm gonna take them back to things like that and then let them take me to things that are current. So I wanna do that with them. But you know, it's a pleasure having you on the
Thank
show. I really am fortunate to have you here.
Thank you.
And I'm almost geeking out right now, fanning out, but
Oh,
I gotta
please,
try to
I
play it
appreciate
cool
that.
because I got some, you know, new interns and I
Well,
want them to
thank
see
you.
me not being cool.
Thank you.
So, but again, you said people can Google you. This is Terry Mora. He is the world's in the United States, he is one of the most popular disabled entrepreneur in America. And I really don't like using the wording disabled.
Mhm.
It's just that because you are an abled body. You are
Thank you.
walking, you can do a lot of things. But to see, I brought you on here because I want people to see that those who can't do things, you can get it done. What's our excuse?
Well, you know, one of the things I tell people all the time is being disabled has actually been the best thing that's happened to me.
Oh, wow.
Because with most able-bodied people, what they worry about
You don't.
doesn't even bother me.
You're like, look, I just got to do this. What?
It does, yeah. People freak out about the littlest things, and I mean, I'm driving my dream car, I'm skydiving, God is good, and everything. I mean, you look at me, see, when I walk into a room and people see me walking, a lot of time, not all the time, they're looking at me sort of like, oh, you know, I wonder if it hurts when he walked, and, you know, poor guy, you know, what's wrong with him, and does people make fun of him? But see, I feel like I have a secret. Like, you have no idea that I've been on tour with this artist, and
So what he trying to say? He balling. He balling.
No,
He's living his
I'm
dream.
not, one thing I'm not for, I'm not casting checks like
He's living his dream right now.
Yeah.
That's because he's talking about he's driving his car.
Right.
He's been with this one, that one. You know, just you're living your dream, and that's what I want all the interns to know. You can live your dream. Tyler Perry had in people's mind, the most craziest dream, and he's built the largest studio in the United States. This was a guy who was homeless, and I understand because, like I said, for me, you know, I was homeless at one point. I ran away, lived on the streets, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We'll share my story another time.
Okay.
But again, I'm doing what I want to do.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
And I love my life that I'm living. So, without further ado, we want to thank everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to, let's run it down. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our Women Are Worthy show on YouTube. It's the Women Are Worthy Network on YouTube. On Instagram and Facebook, it's the Women Are Worthy show. You can also like or friend me, Jacqueline Charles, JACQLYN Charles. Our website is womenareworthy.net. Ooh, I'm getting good at this.
There you go.
I'm getting good at this. And of course, we'll have it flashed, and when we get it edited, make sure you subscribe to the below link and things like that. So, and if you're looking for one of our mugs, it's the Women Are Worthy mug, and it's on our website, our womenareworthy.net website. You can look for our
Thank you,
mugs. We also have a plant-based, because I'm plant-based, we also have a plant-based ebook. You can go on the website, you can go to the shop center, and you can pick one up there. So without further ado, we want to thank everyone for being kind and being on the show, and for participating, watching, subscribing, liking. So without further ado, we'll see you next Monday. We're going to have a wonderful lady on the show. We'll announce that later on. And we're going to be talking about domestic violence. She was abused, and she went through a lot, but now she persevered. It's not what kills you, what makes you stronger. We're all in the same book, just a different chapter. Bye.